Returning NCAA champions, preseason #1 ranked wrestlers, the cream of the college crop colliding in the kickoff to the new season, the most prestigious invitational in college wrestling. The best college wrestlers have come to Texas, to the Dallas Convention Center, site of the 2006-2007 NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps. Hi again, Jason Knapp here along with Ken Cherzo. Glad to have you along for the season premiere of NCAA Wrestling here on CSTV. And Ken, what a way to start with the high quality and caliber of this event. This year we've got 8 of the preseason #1 ranked wrestlers in the country. We'll have 5 #1 versus #2 matchups. Boy, what a way to get it going.
Should be some great wrestling. The best of the best getting after it. We're going to see who can rise to the occasion when it matters in front of all the fans. And I expect them to cut loose because it's not the finals of the year. It's early season. Look for them to open up and really try some things. We should see a lot of great flurries in these matches.
We certainly have seen a lot of action and coverage of this event in past years on CSTV. This year, one of the featured matches certainly going to be at 165 pounds. Two-time NCAA champ Johny Hendricks of Oklahoma State against Mark Perry of Iowa.
No substitute for that Oklahoma State versus Iowa rivalry. And these two individuals, they have an intense rivalry as well. We'll get into that during the show. But look for a great match with Hendricks attacking the legs a lot, Perry trying to counter and scramble. Both guys are tough on top and bottom. We're going to see a tight match against two of the best performers at any weight in the country.
And we are ready to get things going at 125 pounds. Sam Hazewinkel, the #1 ranked wrestler of the preseason from Oklahoma, going up against Tanner Gardner, the 5th ranked wrestler out of Stanford. Gardner, a fill-in for Troy Nickerson out of Cornell, had to bow out with a recent injury.
He won't be. He's quite a stellar fill-in, though. They had a great match at the NCAAs last year. He's a tough young lightweight as well. You can see Tanner Gardner in white, Hazewinkel in the Oklahoma Sooner maroon, feeling each other out. But Gardner's been on 2 nice single legs. You see the power difference there. Hazewinkel stopping him from getting that leg pretty easily.
Hazewinkel, 3rd at the NCAA tournament the last 2 years, senior from Pensacola, Florida, 31-2 last year, and he's got experience in this event, Ken. He's won here at the All-Star Classic the last 2 years.
Yeah, he's been consistent here. He's got experience overall. His experience almost paid off there. He almost got to take down the edge. He caught Gardner relaxing a little bit. These wrestlers have to be aware of not to relax on the edge. Remember the new rules that have come in recently? You only need 1 foot in bounds to get a take down the edge of the mat. So we can expect some scoring on those edges if somebody takes advantage of that opportunity on the edge.
Gardner in the white singlet, Hazewinkel in the maroon, as these two guys jockey for position here. Again, collegiate wrestling, 3 minutes for the first period, 2 minutes each for the second or third periods. And if we go to overtime, we'll explain those rules should they apply.
And don't be surprised if we go there. There's going to be a lot of close bouts tonight. This is the best of the best. As we said in the opening, we have a lot of #1 seeds, a lot of #2s going up against each other. We're going to see some close matches and some high-level wrestling.
Gardner, 36-2 last year, 8th at the NCAA tournament, 2nd at the Pac-10. He actually missed the spring semester. He was studying abroad in Spain. And you know, wrestlers like to try to keep that weight relatively in control year-round. That had to be tough abroad.
Yeah, it must have been a different type of challenge. Stanford, bright school, we're getting a lot of wrestlers excelling. We've had an NCAA champ from Harvard in recent years. Last year, Matt Valenti from Penn was an NCAA champion, and here is Tanner Gardner from Stanford in the All-Star meet. There hasn't been an athlete from Stanford in the All-Star meet in quite a few years. Matt Gentry was an NCAA champion from Stanford a few years back. But other than him and Gardner, there hasn't been too many standouts from Stanford in the past decade.
Kerry McCoy certainly hoping to change that. Former Penn State great and wrestling legend taking over the program at Stanford at the beginning of last year, and talking to Kerry says, hey, this is a great spotlight event for Tanner Gardner to come here and garner some recognition for his school. And McCoy talked about the relentless aggressiveness from Tanner Gardner on the mat, but sometimes that's tough to do against a guy the quality of Sam Hazewinkel.
Yeah, well, he has been tenacious. You can see Hazewinkel's grabbing his arms and controlling the 2-on-1s and the underhooks. That's Hazewinkel's forte, controlling the ties. Gardner is tenacious. You see him take numerous shots to Hazewinkel's left leg. He's been aggressive. He's very tenacious on top. He can't there. I told you about the edge. Wow. He let up on the edge. He got whipped over. Kind of a sloppy takedown by Hazewinkel, but on the edge of the mat, it counts as a takedown and puts him up at the end of a period too, Jason. You know how I am, if you remember from last year, always emphasizing scoring on the edge, scoring at the end of the period. Hazewinkel did just those two things right there with 4 seconds left in the first period.
And it's the double whammy for Tanner Gardner there. Gets burned at the edge, burned at the end of the period, and it costs him 2 points. So Hazewinkel, 2 for the takedown, and a 2-0 lead after 1 period.
And Kerry McCoy was not liking that, Jason. As you were speaking about him, he's over there in the corner giving Tanner instructions, but you could see the disgust on his face as his athlete let up on the edge a little bit. And I'll tell you, I coached Kerry. I had the privilege and opportunity to coach Kerry at Penn State for a couple of years. That man never stops moving. He is one to never let up. And as a big guy, he was able to overcome a lot of big men bigger than him and score with good tactics and good technique. And he knows the game upside down.
Right now, Gardner working on top. Hazewinkel underneath.
If Gardner's going to have success in this match, he needs to stay on top for a long period of time here. This is one of Gardner's strengths, top, throwing the legs, as you can see. It'll be interesting to see what Hazewinkel does in the whistle. Can he explode in the whistle, or does he continue to get ridden with legs here? This next 10 seconds will tell the tale to a large degree for this period.
Of course, this is billed as a premier preseason event. The wrestling season actually underway for a lot of schools, including these guys. Gardner coming in with a top record, 8-0, beat Cal State Fullerton. Stanford did as a team in its first Pac-10 dual meet of the season. And Hazewinkel just won his 4th straight title at Oklahoma's own tournament last weekend, named the most outstanding wrestler.
Yeah, they're both off to a strong start in the early season, and that's why they're selected to be here, because they're two of the best of the best. And a minute of riding time for Tanner Gardner. This is big for him. He's taken the senior Hazewinkel. He's ridden him now for almost a minute. As we know, if you get over a minute riding time at the end of a match, if you have over a minute total more than your opponent, you get an extra point. So Gardner's looking pretty good right here. He's working the legs. He's looking for a far side cradle. Hazewinkel's weakness is bottom, and Gardner's exploiting it so far. Gardner would really be sitting pretty if he hadn't given up that takedown at the end of the first period. But as it stands now, despite riding him now for a minute 30, he's still losing.
37 wins for Tanner Gardner last year. Well, I mentioned Matt Gentry before, last Stanford wrestler in this all-star event. He went on to win an NCAA title that year, and talking to Kerry McCoy about that, I said, that'd be a nice trend to continue, wouldn't it? He said, yeah, it certainly would be. Right now, Hazewinkel, big-time aggressor. Picks up 2 for the reversal and able to get into a power position against Tanner Gardner.
That was a nice technique. He was able to make him fall off by swimming him. He dipped his shoulder and threw his arm over. It's called swimming out of the power half. And Hazewinkel baited Gardner a little bit. He knew Gardner was coming, and he slickly made him fall off. Oh, he almost got a count at the end of the period. He does. Whoa. Wow, that was close. Almost got 2 count there. Here's going to slip the power half. You see how he threw him off and made him fall off? Definitely a savvy veteran move by Hazewinkel to make Gardner fall off and again score at the end of a period, take a 4-0 lead as they head into the third.
Sam Hazewinkel, 3-time All-American, would love to be one of those gentlemen in a rare category. As a 4-time All-American, has the opportunity to get that done this year in his senior season with the Sooners. And of course, we've seen him in the off-season too, in the summertime, competing in the international level and in various meets, and he's been very effective there as well.
Yeah, Hazewinkel is one of the best Greco-Roman lightweights in the entire country, perhaps the world. He'll have a chance to show that after college. He's been trained by past Olympic team coach and all-Navy coach Rob Herman in the Greco-Roman style. He grew up in Pensacola, Florida, where the Navy base is, and Herman has groomed him, and he has just had an awesome Greco career to go along with his outstanding folk style career. It's very rare that somebody can become an All-American in Greco while in college, and Hazewinkel has proved that he is one of the best year in, year out, even while competing folk style during college.
Of course, he has great lineage in the family, as a lot of wrestlers do. The sport passed down. Dad Dave, Uncle Jim, both U.S. Olympians. Sam Hazewinkel right here with 60 seconds and change left to go. holding a commanding 4-0 lead on Tanner Gardner right now of Stanford.
Yeah, he's riding him back. He almost got a cradle there. It was close. Yeah, Hazewinkel's picked his spots. I mean, Gardner's wrestled toes to toes, nose to nose the whole match, but Hazewinkel was able to score on the edge of the mat with the pancake. He was able to score with the swim out to get those 4 points. But Gardner escapes. He's got a fight chance now. Let's see if Gardner really can open up these last 30 seconds. Right now, he's getting slowed down in a stalemate position. See, the thing is, Gardner needs a big throw. His best takedown's that single to the left leg. He hasn't had it yet. I'd like to see Gardner be aggressive and try something, but he goes right back to that single leg, and that's only going to result, even if he got it, in a takedown, which would still put him behind by a point. I'd like to see more of these wrestlers opening up and trying to throw each other, even if it's just throwing a cement job or a cement mix or something there from the counterattack position. But as it stands now, he's gone back in on a single. He's just holding on. Hazewinkel's got this all locked up. He's countering easily. Time and time again, he's countered that one shot.
Another riding time racked up by Gardner. Basically erased, and it won't be a factor because Sam Hazewinkel, for the 3rd year in a row, is a winner at the NWCA All-Star Classic. 4-1 to count for the senior from Pensacola, Florida. Against the Oklahoma Sooners, another mark in the all-time history book of this prestigious event. Sam Hazewinkel, the winner at 125 over Tanner Gardner of Stanford. 133 pounds coming up straight ahead, and we'll see a reigning NCAA champ against a wrestler from the overall team champion last year, Coleman Scott of Oklahoma State.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
I was hanging out with some people, now I realize I shouldn't have. The work was so hard, it was just going fast.
I got kicked out of school, and nobody cared about me, so I don't care.
I sort of got messed up into gangs and other stuff. School was very difficult.
I was expelled from school.
I mean, the one person who really got me to go back into school was my friend Kevin.
The best college hockey is on CSTV.
Don't miss what's happening on December's Charlie Chat. Dish Network wants you to share your favorite holiday story. It can be funny, heartwarming, unique. You tell us. If it's aired, you'll receive a $50 Dish Network gift certificate. Send in your story by voicemail, email, or even by tape. The Charlie Chat will also have celebrity guests, prize giveaways, and your chance to call in with questions and talk live with the CEO. Tune into Channel 101, Monday, December 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Dish Network. Better TV for all.
When the IRS levied my business and personal accounts, I didn't know where to turn. My CPA recommended American Tax Relief.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation.
Look, the IRS is offering you a one-time opportunity to settle your debt. This is your 1 second chance. Use it well.
I thought I was going to lose my business. American Tax Relief got me a second chance.
Call 1-800-TAX-HELP for your free consultation.
I was responsible for bruises, abrasions, and a few stitches.
41st year for this event, and we are getting it on at 133 pounds. Matt Valenti, the NCAA champion last year from Penn, taking on Coleman Scott, number 5 in the preseason from Oklahoma State. Of course, the Cowboys won another NCAA team title last year.
Yeah, they were stacked. They still are. This is a great matchup here. Coleman Scott was a 125-pounder last season, and he's making the move to 133, and he looks like every bit of 133 out there. He's a big boy. Matt Valenti from Penn is the defending champion, so this is a great test for Coleman Scott to see if he can make the move to 33, and I'm sure he will be very competitive. This is a toss-up match in my eyes. They're both feeling each other out. Coleman lunges. That's a shot. Nice reshot by Valenti. Beautiful lift. Wow.
And 2 for the takedown from Matt Valenti of Penn, senior from Newton, New Jersey. And Ken, you can see right away, when you miss a shot against a top-quality opponent, you pay the price.
You do. Good point, Jason. That was a reshot by Matt Valenti. Coleman does this lunging double. It's very unorthodox. He was very successful with it at 125. Right there, though, Valenti used his power and just put the hammer down on him. And beautiful reshot to a lift. I love when the athletes will lift the guy. The easiest way to get a guy down is to lift him up. And Matt Valenti did a perfect textbook lift. He got his hips down, hips in, he body arched, and nice oomph. I'm surprised he didn't try to ride him, Jason. If you remember last year in the NCAA finals, he rode Chris Flieger for the whole second period, and he's tough on top. But in this case, he chose to let Coleman Scott go.
3-2 was the final in that NCAA championship bout. Valenti over Chris Flieger. 33 wins as a freshman. That was the most ever by a Penn first-year wrestler. School record 36 wins as a sophomore. Boy, and he matched the 36 last year and went on to win the NCAA title. First wrestler from Penn to hit the 100-win mark as a junior. Boy, he is aggressive. 2 more and another takedown for Valenti.
Sweet ankle kick. Wow, and another lift. He's got a deep claw and crotch. Oh, nice judo throw by Coleman Scott. He knocked him on his head. He rung his bell. Wow, and we're going to get an escape, but nothing else because he called injury time. I think he hit it on his head.
Well, you can see Matt Valenti is trying to gather himself on the mat right now.
I think he's going to be fine. He just rung his bell there. He was trying to lift Coleman Scott, and Coleman wouldn't let him. And here we're going to take a look at it. Coleman takes his right leg. Watch how he takes his right leg and kicks. Beautiful judo throw. Dings him right on his head. Look, you see he's out of it. The good referee did a good job stopping the action there. Wow, what excitement.
And of course, the officials at this event are going to be top quality too. Jim Ramirez, Jerry Middleton right on top of it to stop it for the moment as Matt Valenti tries to gather himself there.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. He's nodding his head. He's ready to go. But I'll tell you what, he got his bell rung hard. That was a sweet technique. Look at that step across. He counters the lift with a leg hook, then he reaches across. Beautiful wrestling by Coleman Scott. That was exciting action.
And boy, the majority of Scott's body landed right on top of the head of Matt Valenti, and he's shaking it off and looks to be giving it a go.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get more to go. He looks to have it all about him. We'll know here shortly. He's keeping really good position. Look how low these guys are. They stayed low. They're in really good position, not making any mistakes. Let's see if Valenti can maintain the aggressiveness. He's done 2 great techniques. He did a great reshot lift and then an ankle pick, head and heel.
Great action. Pick there again.
Less than 30 seconds remaining. Period number 1.
Final 30 seconds here of this first period, and it has been action-packed. Valenti with a 4-2 lead on Scott, but Coleman in the orange from Oklahoma State with a exhilarating throw that sent Valenti for a loop.
Yeah, it was really nice technique. But you know what? It was just on the way out to get an escape. It didn't affect the score. It just affected Valenti's bell. Interesting that Valenti chose to wrestle on his knee for that long period of time. He does that occasionally, but I think he was regaining his wits about him, and Coleman Scott didn't capitalize. When he should have sensed that he was kind of slowing the pace down, he should have capitalized on that, but he didn't. So we'll see what happens here as we go down. I don't know what Valenti will do here. He's really good on top, but Coleman's so funky on bottom. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to ride him very hard or not.
Scott Jr. from Waynesburg, PA, 31 wins last year as they get things restarted. And a caution there, jumping the gun.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Valenti's going to try to hold him. I'm a little bit surprised. I guess he respects Coleman Scott's ability to scramble on the mat.
Well, Scott 5th at the NCAA tournament last year, as we mentioned, at 125. He lost his opening match, but then won 7 of the next 8 to get All-America honors.
Yeah, very, very courageous effort. Valenti he's looking for a Turk. He's doing a good job. He's trying to split the legs now. He's doing a nice job on top. He did ride, like I said last year in the NCAA finals, his tactics were to go after Flieger hard and ride him, and he did. It looks like now he's going to try to stay on top. He's working him. He's looking for a Turk. He's got him flattened out. You know, I guess he's a little bit indecisive, but now he's sensing Coleman Scott's laying there. He's going for a gusto. Now here's the bow and arrow technique. This is illegal in high school, but it's very effective at the collegiate level. It's a nasty hold. I think Coleman Scott's flexibility is going to make it difficult for Valenti to hold him. He's rolled him, but he hasn't. Oh! Look at that. He's got him tight. Oh, he's making, you can almost hear him say uncle under there. He's hurting. Matt Valenti's going for the gusto on top now. That is called a bow and arrow. We're stopping it, calling it potentially dangerous because he was twisting that ankle too much.
No, Valenti will regroup and get set to restart things here. Penn's first national champion since Brett Matter in 2000. Here's another look at the bow and arrow.
This comes from freestyle. The Europeans are really good at it. You see he's going to drive forward, take it across, totally legal. He's going to roll him through. In freestyle, that would be points, but in folk style, you have to control him. That's what we're doing here in folk style. Scholastic style, college style wrestling. He didn't control him, so he couldn't get the back points. But it was a good move, and it created a lot of pain and got a long, good riding time on Coleman Scott. So right now, Matt Valenti's got the riding time. It'll be interesting to see in the third period if he can get up quickly. And I'm going to call him for stalling on top because he didn't get him down. Jason, you have 5 seconds to return him to the mat. If you don't do it, you get banged for stalling, and that's what the referee did. He said, Matt Valenti, you are stalling. And it's just a warning the first time. A warning. If he does it again, it'll be a point against him. Point for Coleman Scott.
So Valenti has to ratchet up the intensity here to please the officials and keep maneuvering things on top. 4-2 the score here in the second period.
Short time. Now he's got to try to ride him. Now he's committed to riding, and this could create a scramble here. Coleman Scott's waiting to move his hips. No, he's got the wrist now. It's not looking good for Coleman Scott. He laid there. Valenti's got an arm bar and a wrist, the rebar tilt. This is a great one. This is a move that Dustin Schlatter likes a whole lot. The rebar tilt. You saw it last year in the Big Ten finals and throughout the NCAA tournament. He was turning people. He was unable to turn Coleman Scott, but boy, did he maul him on top.
And the only problem for Valenti is out of time here in the period. Not able to finish off that move, so the score remains 4-2 in favor of the senior from Penn.
All right, this is critical. Coleman Scott is nasty mean on top. He's good with the claw ride. He'll try to tilt you, and he'll throw the legs. You guarantee he's going to go to town. So Matt Valenti has got to bust out. Valenti's pretty good at scrambling. Should see some exciting wrestling here in these 30 seconds.
Scott getting in position. The Big 12 champ in the past, and again, 5th at the national tournament last year. Part of that glory run for the Cowboys yet again in the NCAA tournament.
All right, second false start there. If he false starts again, he's in trouble. He'd lose a point. Valenti's going to move. Boy, Valenti didn't move on the whistle. I expected Valenti to capitalize and explode. See how Coleman Scott stays underneath the arms, throws the legs in. That's not looking good. Look for Valenti to possibly roll to the left shoulder. He did it nice. He did it, but Coleman Scott followed nice. See, he used that move in the NCAA finals last year. I call it reverse kamikaze. It's kind of a crazy move, and you roll opposite the leg. Coleman Scott didn't fall for it at all, though. He had him scouted out. He was ready to follow that.
And now we've got a stalemate called, so both wrestlers will head back to the center and start up again in neutral position.
Valenti's really done what he needs to do to win this match. He has taken him down twice, so even if he got ridden out, he'd still win. So he's not. See, Coleman's recognized that. He's going to let him go. He knows he's got to get a takedown in order to beat him. All right. It's Coleman Scott's responsibility to open up. Valenti's going to keep good position. He's already got the 2 takedowns. Coleman Scott's best shot is the lunge of that double. Let's see if he shows anything different here. Valenti doesn't look like himself, Jason. He's definitely not feeling like he was the first period. I got a lot of respect for him. He stayed tough. He's kept good position. He's made no mistakes. So after coming out strong for the first 2 takedowns and ringing his bell, he's kept his composure well and doing what he needs to do to win this match. Coleman Scott's got to come up with a big move.
You see the experience there, and Valenti biding his time, if you will, and managing the bout, and he has done that throughout now. 5-2 advantage. Be interesting to see if that bang to the head had happened when it was a scoreless bout if he would have been able to get points, because right now he's done a good job of protecting the lead he had.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I don't know. I can tell you, though, I know Matt Valenti really well. He's not himself. He's really methodical. He doesn't have the same intensity he had in the first 2 minutes. And you're right, if it was a close match, would he be able to suck it up and score? I'm not sure. I think he could, but you just don't know. He's wrestling pretty well when he has to here. That was a nice little scramble, but he's got this all sewn up. There's 15 seconds left, even if Coleman got a takedown. Woo-hoo, that was sweet. Tension dangerous. They got to stop. Makes my knee just hurt looking at it.
Boy, that was...
Ouch. Coleman's got it.
Crazy looking.
Look out for the cradle, though. Look out for the cradle. Oh, my gosh.
Problem is he's running out of time. Almost trying to get things done. He gets 2.
Wow. That was close. Valenti tried to take down to his credit, but got tangled up with the cradle.
But guess what? 2 points and a minute of riding time, or no? We do have a winner. It was very close to being riding time there for Coleman Scott the third period. But it turns out Valenti will hang on and post the victory. Yeah, crazy bout here at 133 pounds, down to the wire. But Matt Valenti, the reigning NCAA champ, picks up the victory over Coleman Scott of Oklahoma State. Coming up at 141 pounds, another of those Cowboys from the defending team national champions, Nathan Morgan, set to face another #1 seed, Ryan Lang of Northwestern.
In all the world, there are a select few who at their very core are capable of incredible transformation. Under the most grueling conditions, they are shaped, hardened, sharpened, ready to stand among the most elite of all warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
College sports fans need to stay alert. With hundreds of teams, thousands of players, and millions of fans, you never know when big news will come over the wire. It's a good thing there's CSTV to go. With CSTV to go, you get wireless text alerts straight to your phone with breaking news from across the college sports world. And when you subscribe to CSTV to go, you'll get the most up-to-the-minute scores and headlines from over 100 schools and up to 15 different sports sent to you, no matter where you are. Log on to CSTV.com and sign up now for CSTV to go.
Football is a way of life. Live it with CSTV.
Games, highlights, and insights on air and online.
NCAA Wrestling on CSTV. The 2006 NWCA All-Star Classic is presented by the United States Marine Corps, the United States Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. Here at the Dallas Convention Center, 41st Annual All-Star Classic year, and we are set to go at 141 pounds. Coleman Scott of Oklahoma State just fell to Matt Valenti of Penn, 6'4" at 133. Now at 141, it's Nathan Morgan, the 5th-ranked wrestler of the preseason from Oklahoma State, against #1 Ryan Lang of Northwestern, junior from North Royalton, Ohio, out of that powerhouse St. Ed High School program.
Yes, good tradition there in Northeast Ohio. Boy, this is a wide open weight. Nice shot by Lang. Northwestern's in. He's going to try to dump him. He's got a good dump from here. Outside fireman's carry motion. Morgan shut him off pretty good there. Morgan's in position looking for the quick go behind. Wow, what I was trying to say is this is a wide open weight because Gallick from Iowa State and Ware from Oklahoma have both been in the NCAA finals the last couple of years. They both graduated. So this is a weight for the taking. It could be one of these two guys. It could be Simmons from Michigan State. It could be one of many other guys that are ranked. There's a lot of parity at this weight class.
Yeah, Lang, 2nd in the Big Tens last year, 4th at the NCAA tournament. And Morgan was an All-America as well, 6th at the NCAAs at 133 pounds. And he lost to NCAA champ Matt Valenti, the wrestler for Penn. You just saw him win at 133. Morgan lost to him in the semifinals at Nationals last year.
Yep. Morgan and Coleman Scott have both made the move up a weight class for Oklahoma State. It'll be interesting to see how that works out for the Cowboys. Beautiful high crotch motion. Good job by Lang. What a scramble. Lang is a really good scrambler. He can move, and he's hard to finish on.
Lang off to a pretty solid start here in the early portion of the new season. 5-0 at the Eastern Michigan Open. Didn't have a point scored on him, and you can see from his aggressiveness, he is certainly getting after it.
Yeah, he's very hard to finish on. He's had a great career, as had Morgan throughout high school and college. Lang is one of the rare 4-time Ohio State champions. You mentioned earlier Lakewood St. Ed's, his program that he's from. I was at the Ohio State tournament watching when he won his 4th state championship. He received a standing ovation. There was 2 4-timers that year. Beautiful go behind, good scramble. Nothing yet, though. Nothing yet. I told you, it's very hard to finish on. Morgan's really good at finishing this position, though. Right now, Morgan's still winning. He needs to step up with a foot. He needs to step up with his right foot. Lang's clinging on. Lang's got that ankle. Morgan needs to get height with his head. Boy, what a dogfight. There it is. This is a scramble position. Both wrestlers need to improvise. Again, though, Morgan needs to get his head up and get a foot up. He's improving. The wrestler giving him a chance to work on it. But Lang's got the funk position. There's no control yet. I hope the referee doesn't mess up and call his takeoff because Lang's still got that leg. This is a critical scramble position.
Jimmy Ramirez right on top of it, and you can see him continuing to wave it off as Morgan cannot establish control, and Lang earns a stalemate call.
Proper call. Great scramble there. Awesome wrestling. Gosh, what was I describing to you? I was telling you about the Ohio State Championship. This guy received a standing ovation. The Ohio State tournament, there's 3 divisions in 1. The place is packed. It's at Ohio State. There's 20,000 plus people in the arena. People stood on their feet and cheered him for a couple minutes. It was just an incredible feeling because there's very, very few 4-time Ohio State champions. And he and C.P. Schlatter that year were the 2 4-timers. It's very rare to have 1, let alone 2. It's just an incredible tournament.
Ryan Lang, part of a resurgence for the Wildcats, both in the Big Ten and nationally in the last couple of years, making a deep run into the NCAA tournament. This is his first appearance at the All-Star Classic, 2-time NCAA qualifier. We will see one of his teammates, Jake Herbert, who had an outstanding year, unbeaten all the way to the NCAA final before losing. We'll see Herbert coming up at 184.
Yeah, he's a machine. The only thing that stood between him and the NCAA championship was Ben Askren, who's one of the best at any weight in the whole country. He's very unorthodox, and he definitely wrestled a great match against Herbert in the finals. Boy, for 0-0, we've seen a lot of action here. These guys have been scrambling. Both guys getting after it. A lot of reshots and scrambles. Exciting action, but not much scoring yet. It's funny how Lang moves. He puts his feet together too much sometimes. It's not good. And I'm surprised it doesn't get capitalized on. It's very hard to finish on, but you see young wrestlers at home, you don't want to do that. It's almost like he's standing around too much. He's up on center stage here. I don't know if you folks can tell at home. We're on a big stage, just like the NCAA championships. There's spotlights on the arena. It's some exciting wrestling going on. These fans are soaking it in.
Now we've got a stall warning issued right now to Lang. So again, first stall call is just that, a warning. Next one will cost him a point.
Like I say, he's a good counter wrestler. He plods around and doesn't let people finish. He's got to work on his offense. If he's going to be a dominator, he's got to work on that offensive attack. He's got a really good dump, but sometimes that's hard to get at the collegiate level. There's that lunging double, changes it to a low single. Well, I think Morgan might finish this one because he was in deep that time. He did. You got to be careful about giving up back points there. Yowza.
Lang wasn't quick enough to escape that first takedown, but
he's a funking machine. That is called a funk. When you dive back under the ankle, throw it over your head, and to Morgan's credit, he did a great job of staying with him.
Well, Nathan Morgan taking a 2-1 lead here on Ryan Lang in the second period.
Big takedown. 20 seconds left in the period here. We'll see what Lang's got on bottom. He's squirrely. He'll Granby, he'll flip, he'll hip heist. Eric Guerrero and Johnny Thompson, the staff, the Oklahoma State coach in the corner, is telling Morgan to keep him down. Let's see if we can see a good flurry here in these last 19 seconds of the period.
Morgan working it on top.
Oh, he almost got out easy. He is out easy. Oh, that's a terrible job by Nathan Morgan to hold him down. The coaches, Thompson and Guerrero, are both not happy. They're like, what are you thinking? They're both, boy, they're both really good on takedowns, but as athletes, both NCAA champions multiple times for Oklahoma State, as athletes, when they had to ride, they could. And their student, Nathan Morgan, did not ride like he was instructed to there. They're not happy about that.
Here final seconds of period number 2 have expired, and we are even up at 2. You mentioned the assistant coaches here, head coach John Smith. Haven't seen him lurking around this weekend. Busy week for Coach. He's on the float at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City on Thanksgiving, part of an Oklahoma contingent there celebrating 100 years of statehood in Oklahoma. And, of course, he is one of the proud Oklahomans and well recognized for all his glory in the past in wrestling.
Yes, a legend in Oklahoma, and it's great to see him representing our sport in the Macy's Day Parade. You know, John is a 2-time Olympic champion and NCAA champion for Okie State, now the coach there. I had the opportunity to be on the Olympic team with him. We trained together. He's super dedicated, one of the most intense competitors.
Won't do everything you're going through just to have me. Never getting quiet again.
Piece of cake?
Right.
Well, babies aren't exactly rocket science.
Holidays on DVD. Start your holiday tradition.
I want to.
Think you're, like an authority figure?
And I guess you think you don't need your resident cinema therapist. Ever been terribly lied to?
You lied to me.
Ever been a terrible liar?
Those are in the mail.
Ever tried cinema therapy?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
How do I do it, Chuck?
You watch a movie on Wii, and I help people like you let it all out. Make an appointment to watch me work. I guarantee you'll want to salute me. You're too kind, soldier. If not, the session's on me. Well, actually, it's on Wii.
Get cinema therapy Thursday at 9 p.m., 6 Pacific, only on Wii.
Ortiz and the Sun Devils, the 6th place as a team at the NCAA this last year.
If they put together a strong season, ASU is one of the top programs in the Southwest, and they creeped up into the top 10 last year.
Paulson picks up a point with the escape. First point of this bout at 157.
Paulson needs to do something with the arms to control Stith and get an angle, and Stith needs to create more opening with body faking and getting something explosive, a quick double or an ankle pick, something explosive. He's got to use his length and speed. So far, he's getting tied up by Paulson. You mentioned coming up here at 165. Boy, I'm looking forward to that. As you know, Mark Perry from Iowa, he's the son of Oklahoma State All-American Mark Perry, who was an assistant coach at Oklahoma State for a long time. So he grew up in Stillwater before going away to Blair Academy, and he's gone to Iowa. Very unusual. An Oklahoma native would go to Iowa for college. He's gone away from home. Meanwhile, Johnny Hendricks, Oklahoma native, stayed at home. And it's just an intense rivalry. There's a lot of personal feelings there. And the head coach at Oklahoma State, John Smith, is Mark Perry's uncle. So you got uncle in one corner going against his nephew. So there's a lot of personal issues involved there. Plus the wrestling is just going to be so exciting.
It will be. That's headed up. And these two guys have stepped up the intensity here. In this type of match early in the season, Kenny, you afraid to show your cards a little bit?
Most guys aren't. Some are, but I think each individual is different. For the most part, these guys have got after it pretty well tonight, and I'm sure the emotions will take. I don't expect Perry and Hendricks to stand around. I think they are going to come out there and brawl and scrap. I look for an exciting match. I don't see them being patient and not showing their hand because they know each other anyways. They're going to get after it. Now these two guys are a little tentative. I'll tell you what though, as big and strong as Paulson is, I'd be tentative too. He is powerful. He's paid his dues in the weight room. He's hard to move. And Stith's doing a good job staying right in there, though.
And another period with not a lot of action and scoring. Paulson does pick up the point, escaping from bottom. 1-0 lead. And now Ryan Stith of Arizona State will choose bottom as well and look to equal that escape here and tie up the bout.
Paulson's got the legs. He's trying to get the legs in. He's tough on top. Like Matt Storniolo, Paulson will throw the power half. That's something like crab riding here. He's trying to get on top of the weight, though. So far, Stith's actually doing pretty good. He's getting his hips away. He's got to get him a little further. He's almost out. He's got to get his hips to his side. Paulson seems pretty composed there. He's got the wrist. Now Paulson's in control. Paulson's got a wrist. He's going to try to take him to his side and tilt him. At very least, he's going to try to keep riding, get riding time. But so far, he's got 30 seconds expired. So Paulson's done a good job here. Stith will need to show some explosion next time he gets a fresh start on the bottom. I think we got to get a stalemate going here.
No call yet for the officials. Looking on intently, Jim Ramirez, Jerry Middleton, and finally we do get the stalemate call.
I'm surprised Paulson wasn't a little more aggressive to try to expose him with that 2-on-1. He was just happy to milk that riding time. Now, 15 seconds here. Let's see if Stith moves on the whistle. Here we go. Yes, one explosion. Can he get a second move, though? He's got to put 2 moves together. Too slow, too methodical. He's peeling the hand, which is good, but he's not gonna beat the riding time.
A few more seconds here before the final minute of this third period, and again, an honor for officials as well to serve here at this all-star affair. Middleton and Ramirez among the best in college wrestling.
Yes, sir. Both excellent referees. Paulson's done a good job here. He's done the crab ride. He's got the legs in now. He's rode Stith out. You know, if Stith was not going to do anything in the first couple periods, he needed to get off bottom a lot quicker than this. Not sure what happened here. What do they call? Injury time, blood time. Somebody's got a little blood. All right, so Stith's going to get a chance to catch his breath. He's going to have to come in a flurry. You know, even if he gets off bottom, he's still going to be losing on the riding time point. So he needs to get away and get a takedown to win. So it's the impetus is on Stith to open up.
While Brian Stith is getting attention, a little blood time here, we'll take a break and step aside. More from Dallas next.
Hey, college football fans, you can win the ultimate fan weekend, complete with tickets, tailgating party, plasma TV, and more by spraying your spirit with Duplicolor's Car Art Temporary Paint. Go to duplicolor.com to learn more.
Expensive custom flames and costly protective laminates? Not anymore. Now create temporary graphics or get temporary protection with Duplicolor's hot new Car Art and Shield. With Car Art, add flames, scallops, or street graphics for the weekend. And with Shield, protect your vehicle's trouble areas from bugs, rocks, and road grime. Car Art and Shield are easy to use, dry in less than a minute, and with a simple wash, leave no residue. Start creating and protecting today with Duplicolor's Car Art and Shield. Go to duplicolor.com to find the retailer nearest you.
Kind of have that ADD thing to where I can't really pay attention that well. Might as well just drop out.
So I bounced from like foster home to foster home.
Dropped out of high school my junior year.
I was hanging out with some people now I realize I shouldn't have. They join gangs, start doing drugs, try to sell drugs. It distracts you from everything around you. You're always having to watch your back. You can't really be yourself.
The one person who really got me to go back into school was my mom, my mother.
My parents were the people that helped me the most. I need them to know that it really does help me, that they're there for me.
We know what you love.
The one-hand jam. Here's the line and the finish.
The ball in the air.
Deep three. Got it.
A thunderous crowd.
Rejected.
Shut down defense. An electric fast break. CSTV has everything you want from the game you love.
Watch Penn take on Navy tomorrow at 8, only on CSTV.
Here at 165, one of the featured bouts of the night, two-time NCAA champ Johnny Hendricks of Oklahoma State, #1 of the preseason against #2 Mark Perry of Iowa, who grew up in Stillwater, Oklahoma, the nephew of Oklahoma State head coach John Smith.
Jason, I told you these guys come out and get after it. Look, they're moving their feet, they're hustling, they're getting after it. Pretty much straight up, you can see it. They both want to get a piece of each other. Hendricks got the 2-on-1 right now. I want to see Hendricks take some shots and create some scrambles here. Perry's not a real big shooter. He's got a nice tight front headlock right now, though. Oh, he's tiring Hendricks out. Hendricks trying to sneak his head out of there, but Perry's elbows are pinched tight. See, that takes the salt. He's fussing a little bit about the choke in there.
And Mark was talking about maybe he put too much stock into coming back to take on the team that he grew up watching and rooting for all the time, and just wants to make it about the wrestling now. Well, that's hard, especially with everything that's transpired. You sure the Oklahoma State fans are giving him his all when Hendricks was able to take care of him 2 years ago. Hendricks beat Perry in the NCAA final, one of 3 wins over Perry that season. Last year, Mark jumped up to 174 pounds, was 3rd at the NCAA tournament, now dropping back down to 165.
Interesting maneuvers. There's that Hendricks shot. Here's the scramble I talked to you about. Hendricks goes in on high pressure. Now he's changing his head position. Right now, Perry's winning the scramble. He's got a great cradle here. See, Hendricks stopped. He stopped his shot. He's changing from the high crest to a low single. He's just hoping he's in trouble. Perry's almost got the cradle locked up. This is what I wanted to see. This is where I want to see this match go. Who can win this scramble? Perry still has an advantage of getting a step. See, Hendricks has got a great head outside shot that left leg. But Perry worms himself. He goes to his left hip and scurries, and he cradles from there, but Hendricks knows that and was able to stop it. That was good action. Good sequence of action.
Hendricks ended last year with that second straight NCAA title, but he started last year at the All-Star Classic with a loss, knocked off by Matt Nagel. That was last year in Stillwater, one of a handful of Cowboy wrestlers to lose at home at the All-Star. Oklahoma State was 1-3 at the All-Star Classic on their own mat in Stillwater.
Yep, 1 year ago, me and you covering that for CSTV. That was exciting. The Stillwater fans, it was like popping a balloon. They're like, oh, they lost all those matches. That was definitely a surprise for the hometown boys to bite the dust in the All-Star meet on their home turf. I think they were a little bit overexcited, perhaps. They come out really strong, Hendricks in particular, and then simmered down as the match went along.
Well, Johnny's been known for his flair for the dramatic, especially last year in that NCAA final against Ryan Chiarella of Michigan. 2 takedowns in the final minute for the comeback victory.
Yeah, people are still talking about there were some controversial calls on the edge of the mat. To Hendricks' credit, he's very aggressive and he kept fighting. He kept working to score on the edge. And I think Chiarella let up a little bit, and the referee was excited, and there were some close calls on the edge. Chiarella got 2 takedowns against him on the edge, and Hendricks won the NCAA championship with short time left on the clock. It was a really exciting and controversial NCAA final bout.
Well, after that initial scramble, not much since. Perry trying to work on a headlock in front.
Yeah, Perry's got a lot of mileage out of that front headlock. He's taking some energy out of Hendricks. Hendricks is complaining to the referee. He's like, hey, he's choking me. He's working it. He's working it. The referee's like, Perry's done a good job here slowing down Hendricks.
Hendricks, senior from Edmond, Oklahoma. 29-1 last year. Only loss last season to Oregon's Joey Bracamonte at the Reno Tournament of Champions. Ended up with 22 straight victories after that. And again, the loss last year at the All-Star would be like one here. It doesn't count on your record. They can't use it for rankings or seedings later in the year, but certainly it's a tone setter. But Hendricks knows what it's all about. So sometimes, the first meet in the season doesn't matter as much to me. It's what happens in March.
That's right. That's what counts. But there's still a lot of pride on the line right here. You can say that all you want, but there's pride. And he's almost shook him off. Hendricks looking to slip him. Wow. I thought he was going to shake him off. He wanted him. They stopped it too soon. The coaches in the corner are upset. Even the honorary coaches are upset. And the fans, you hear the fans hissing because Perry was about to slide off. In addition to the team coaches, there's honorary coaches. And in Hendricks' corner right now is Tim Flynn from Edinburgh and Mark Bauer from University of Nebraska-Kearney. These are 2 of the top coaches in the country last year. They're being honored, and they've been in the corner for all the matches with the actual coach of the athletes. And Tim Flynn has done a great job building Edinburgh into a powerhouse. They're 8th in the NCAA Division I. You haven't heard of Edinburgh hardly for any other sports because they play small college ball. But in wrestling, they're a big dog. Tim's a Penn State graduate. He's a teammate of mine. I'm a big fan of his, and him and his program have done a great job. Meanwhile, I'm trying to decide whether we're going wrestling here or whether we got a little flurry, got a little action. Meanwhile, we got some serious action on the mat with reversal. You folks can see that at home. He did finally slip him off.
Hendricks able to finally notch the first 2 points of this one. 2 for the reversal for Johnny Hendricks of Oklahoma State.
Boy, Hendricks did a nice job of eluding Perry. He made him fall off, just kind of slid him, changed his direction, changed his level, made him fall off of him. Perry's got to work hard here. He's waiting too long. He's looking at the clock. He knows how much time he's got to move. This is critical. Hendricks is going to try to ride him hard here. Oh, nice! Oh, wow! Arm lever to a bar arm.
you could hear the reaction.
Yeah, Perry's got to move. Hendricks is wrestling hard. He's got that near wrist. That's a nasty hold right there. Good old near wrist. Hendrickson's got the inside leg lace in there. He's putting a mean old ride. He's got a far side half. Perry won't go for that. He's a Gumby. But he's getting ridden hard. You know, I was talking about the honorary coach, Tim Flynn, Benborough. He was a nasty sucker on top with those halves and legs. And maybe he gave him a couple pointers there on the sidelines. But right there, Hendricks put a mean ride on Perry. Made him say, "Uncle," you heard him. It hurt him yell. And Hendricks is liking that. He's smelling blood.
And these two guys are both fairly outspoken, you would say, and they're certainly giving each other not a lot of lip, but certainly some commentary as they got up and got things restarted. Hendricks crunching down on top of Perry, but no points scored further here. Through 2 periods, as we get to the third, Hendricks still using that 2-point reversal as the difference maker thus far.
All right, Perry's got to show something here on bottom. He's got to get moving. You know, I was talking about the coaches over there with the Oklahoma State staff in the corner, and the other one is Mark Bauer from the University of Nebraska-Kearney. And they're one of the top teams in Division II. They're hosting the NCAA championships this year at the University of Nebraska-Kearney, and they're going to put on a great show. He's got one of the best heavyweights in the country at any division. Tervel is a great wrestler. He goes by one name, kind of like Madonna. He's got his last name. He's from Texas. Is Deglam, and I can't pronounce it very well. In any case, Tervel is a legend in Division II wrestling. He's a great heavyweight. He was an NCAA finalist last year. He lost to another legend, Les Sigmund, in the finals. It was a great bout, and he put on a great show in the exhibition. Tervel won an exhibition bout here before the Division I All-Star meet went off, and Mark Bauer is proud to have him and a great program down there in Kearney, Nebraska.
When you talked about some of the coaches, you can see some of them in the background here, but if we were to take a close-up of them, since they're in the dark, it would look like they're kind of there in the night. Be tough to see, but you see them in the background there. Those helping out Johnny Hendricks. As you see, Hendricks' name is up there in the corner, and the coach is shouting out instructions. A little bit different from what we see in most collegiate wrestling events, where the coaches are mat side and chairs. Here with this elevated platform, they've got to shout a little bit louder from the side.
Yes, they do. Trying to give a feel like the NCAAs. Put the athletes on a stage, but this is unique because there's a spotlight. At Penn State, we do this a lot. That's Hendrickson's move, the seatbelt. He tried to one-arm seatbelt hip toss. He's good at that. Boy, he is riding Perry hard. Perry's not showing me much on bottom here. Tom Brand's in the background. He's not happy about this. He's barking at Perry to get moving. The coach actually can see is Jim Miller. He's the honorary coach on the other side. But in any case, Brand's over there not happy. I'm sure he's disgusted with Perry's lack of motion here. Let's see if Hendricks comes loose. Said, I've ridden you long enough. All right, we're going to see what Perry's got. Remember I was saying, does Ryan Lang have the offense to score in the end of a match? Same situation with Perry. Watch him step in front. Hip toss. The one-arm seatbelt hip toss. He tried for the cement job and finished and didn't quite get it, but he's physically controlled this match. What I started to say is Lang scored at the end of the match. Can Perry put himself back in this match? A takedown with tight. There was the super duck. Hendricks with none of that.
Well, you see Hendricks working towards the edge there with 17 seconds left to go. He was comfortable giving up the escape there because he does have riding time locked up already. 137 in the bag for Johnny Hendricks. That's worth a bonus point here if he can make it stand up right now. Perry needs a takedown to tie and won't get it. As Johnny Hendricks seals the deal on Mark Perry one more time. The Oklahoma State Cowboy beats the guy that grew up watching Oklahoma State. Hendricks of the Cowboys beats Perry of the Iowa Hawkeyes by a final of 3-1. Another great bout there at 165, 174 on the way. An all Pennsylvania matchup.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
I have plenty of friends that have dropped out of high school.
I have the ADD thing to where I can't really pay attention that well. I was hanging out with some people, they join gangs, start doing drugs, try to sell drugs. It distracts you from everything around you. You're always having to watch your back.
When it comes to college sports, everyone has an opinion.
If we're going to hold coaches and administrators accountable, we should hold officials accountable too.
Let the debating begin. Watch Taking Issue with Brian Curtis Thursday at 7, only on CSTV.
What is this thing?
It's called a hedge. The people moved into their neighborhood.
What do we do for food?
Humans had loads of food. Now the animals are hungry.
I want my cookie!
And suburbia will never be the same.
That is an SUV. Humans ride around in it because they are slowly losing their ability to walk.
Right? From the creators of Shrek and Madagascar, DreamWorks Over the Hedge.
Own a timeshare or campground membership? Turn it into cash.
Timeshares Only got us our full asking price before our next monthly payment was due.
Timeshares Only is the nation's largest, #1 most successful timeshare agency, representing properties from the biggest names in the industry.
No one sells more timeshares.
Call now and receive a free information kit, including 10 secrets to timeshares. You owe it to yourself to work with the best. Don't delay. Call 1-800-423-3520.
Yeah, I have a little attitude, but I've earned it. I've put in the hours. I practice every day. I've learned from the best, and I have no doubt that I can play at the highest level. Right now, I'm guessing I'll end up in either Chicago or New Orleans. Most good jazz musicians do.
There are over 360,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of us are going pro in something other than sports.
Warner Brothers presents We Are Marshall in theaters December 22nd. Join CSTV for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the making of the film that chronicles one of the most tragic and inspiring sports stories of all time.
Everyone is either related to that plane crash, either by blood, either they lost family members, or by friendships.
Watch the making of We Are Marshall, a behind-the-scenes special, tonight at 8, only on CSTV.
174 pounds right here, right now. The NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the U.S. Marine Corps in Dallas, Texas. A couple of Pennsylvania guys ready to get it on. Matt Herrington, senior from the University of Pennsylvania, #2 ranked wrestler in the preseason at this weight class against 3rd ranked James Yonushonis from Penn State. And a pair of seniors going head-to-head.
Big match, you can count on a lot of hand fighting, hard-fought battle here. Yonushonis has controlled the tempo of these first 20 seconds. He's stalking, he's looking to get a hold of him. He's got the wrist. You can see him follow that shot. He might follow that shot right into a leg. Follow that wrist.
Herrington 5th at the NCAA tournament last year. Yonushonis 8th. And Herrington beat Yonushonis in the consolation quarterfinals by fall. The Penn State wrestler, Yonushonis, in the dark blue with the white trim, and Herrington, the aggressor, with the maroon trim on his singlet, and Herrington striking first.
That was a great move. That was an underhook far knee blast. He literally blasted him 20 feet across the mat and changed it to a double leg. Yonushonis didn't go on the far knee blast. He kept his balance, but then Herrington changed levels, went to a double leg, and drove across. Sweet technique. That was very good job by Matt Herrington.
Herrington, 23-7 overall last year. Of course, these guys are #2 and #3 at this weight class. Ben Askren, the reigning NCAA champ, not here this weekend. He is the definitive #1 of the preseason.
Yonushonis is hustling, but Herrington's done a nice job. He's got that good double. He got that good double leg finish. And now he's ridden him here for 30 seconds.
They restart with Herrington on top. Originally from Cambridge, New York.
Cradle. He's got it locked up. Yonushonis got to get his head up and break it right now. If he doesn't break quick, he's in trouble. Herrington tightening it up. Harrington's going to try to drive towards the head. Yonushonis has to get his head up. He's trying to fight the grip, but what he needs to do, he's got it broken. There he did it. He got his leg straightened out. Wow, that was a close call. As you indicated, Herrington grew up in New York, went to Penn. Meanwhile, Yonushonis is a central Pennsylvania local boy. He's from Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania, just right up over the mountain, literally 20 miles, 25 miles from State College, Pennsylvania. And he just kept working hard all his life. He was never a Pennsylvania State champion. He was an all-state wrestler in high school, but he's one of the hardest working kids I've known in the wrestling life. I remember when he was in elementary school, he would be like below average. He would take his lumps. He was kind of clumsy. He just kept plugging away, and it's been a steady climb for James Yonushonis to becoming a Pennsylvania State place winner, to coming to Penn State for partial scholarship opportunity and earning his way into more opportunities and becoming an All-American last year as a junior. Great success story for James Yonushonis.
And talking to Troy Sunderland, Penn State's head coach, about that, I said, how did he make this progress? Because there have been times in his career when he has been up and down, and I said we had to get it through his head that you can beat these guys, you can do it, you have the ability, and now you can see, especially with this lofty ranking in the preseason, and as one of Penn State's captains, that it's starting to sink in that he can do the job.
Well, sir, his self-confidence has grown steadily as he went through adolescence. It kept increasing, he kept improving, and then, as he's beginning to make a name for himself on the college level, becoming an All-American was a great breakthrough. But this ride and this whipping he's taking here this first period is not going to be really good. Let's see if he can get his confidence together, because he has been ridden now for over 2 minutes. It's not a good sign for Penn State.
Well, Matt Herrington with a major ride, already racked up over 2 minutes of riding time in that first 3-minute period, so he has a distinct advantage in that category. We'll see if it leads to a bonus point, but still a 2-point advantage for Herrington officially. With that move in the first period, Herrington will be on bottom here to start the second. Yonushonis on top. And the fourth again in the Big Tens for the Nittany Lion wrestler. And Herrington,
good job by Herrington.
Yeah, quickly pops up and gets out.
Yonushonis did not do the job there. He was supposed to try to break him down and ride him harder, and he didn't even stop the first move. So it's not good mat wrestling so far. He's going to have to get it going here. He's going to have to pick it up. He's going to have to get a single leg to the left leg if he's going to score. That's what he's going to have to get to, or a nice arm drag, something. He's got to get some kind of offense going. Not real strong in this position. You can see he's not working hard. He's letting him control his elbow too good. Harrington's content under there. Penn is content to control the elbow and stalemate. Penn State, Yonushonis is the one that's got to work. Herrington really busted out of there quickly. He got nice explosion, back pressure, got to his feet, got out of there. A little bit of a delay stand up, he paused and then exploded after he stopped the chop breakdown. It's a good tactic. Instead of exploding around the whistle, he paused for a split second, stopped the chop, and then once he stopped the chop, he exploded.
Yonushonis ready to engage again with Herrington. And we saw Matt Valenti earlier at 133 pounds victorious, NCAA champ last year. Matt Herrington, 5th. Penn back on the rise. Zeke Jones is 2nd year now at the helm, taking over for Roger Rayner. Roger is here tonight. Roger moved on to a different job in the Penn hierarchy there at that Ivy League squad, but they certainly have made strides to come back here.
Yeah, they've done a good job. And that is that single leg I told you about. This would be critical. Can Yonushonis finish this? This is his best position. He's going to have to close the deal here. He's got it up. This is good. Now he's got to clear it. He's got to get it up higher to his left hip. Harrington's doing a really good job so far. Yonushonis wants it on the... He got it. He got it. He got to clear it.
Finally able to get in there with that leg sweep to finish things off.
Wow, now he's going to ride him back. He's got a Turk in. He's not going to get back points, but I don't think it doesn't look deep enough. But he's going to ride him back. And then he's going to pick bottom, and we're going to have an even match going into the third.
Now, final 5 seconds there. Yonushonis and Herrington.
If you're talking about Penn a little bit, boy, they've built a strong program over the past decade. It hasn't been the last 2, but look at this finish. Look how he clears it. He trips with his right foot, gets the far ankle. Great technique by James Yonushonis. He's got that long levers. He's really lanky. He uses that foot to trip, but the key was clearing a leg in the front of him. Now he's got to bust out of there. He got ridden for 2 minutes. As I think about it now, even if he gets away, Harrington's still got riding time on him. So Yonushonis is going to have to work fast and hard, and he needs to escape and take down to win. That's going to be a tough bill. He's coming up pretty good.
And right now, the riding time you see continuing to accumulate stops now as Yonushonis breaks free there for the escape. Tied up at 3 officially on the scoreboard, but essentially it's 4-3 in favor of Herrington with that riding time.
Yep, Herrington better be in good shape because Yonushonis is a goer. He'll keep snapping the head and he'll keep pulling the wrist, and he'll work this whole minute and a half. Whether he could score or not, it's going to be another story. Herrington's backing up, he's resting. Yonushonis has got to get a hold of him. He's got to snap. Herrington's done a good job of blocking there with the left hand. Yeah, that's what Yonushonis needs to do. He needs to clear it. There's the shot. Nice.
Dive in there on the double at the edge of the mat. Oh boy, he thought about trying to finish that out, and the officials quickly at the edge here. Not a lot of room on that side. Right in front of us, we almost had them in our laps.
I got your back, Jay. So they come your way, I'm in front of you, buddy. All right, we got a little space here. That was, he was thinking about driving him because we're on the platform. You know, we're in Texas, and one of the key marks of Brandon Slade's career, who's an Olympic champion from Texas, was the power double. And what he did to get on the Olympic team is he took Joe Williams and power doubled him off the mat. James Yonushonis hit a nice double there, but he didn't have the power. Oh, let's see if he drives here. Here he goes, two.
He get it again, and he does. Yonushonis with 2 here to take the lead at 5-3. Remember, Herrington does have riding time now locked up, so essentially it's 5-4, but the Penn wrestler needs to do something again to win this match.
Look how as he comes up out of the front headlock, James Yonushonis changes levels, drives. He's got to drive, and he tripped him and kept his feet in bounds. As I said earlier, Yonushonis is lanky. He uses his feet good. He finishes the single leg with a little foot sweep trip. He finished the double leg with the good old-fashioned back heel trip, which is kind of unorthodox, but he uses it effectively. All right, here's the deal. 36 seconds left in the match. Herrington's got to get away to tie it. It's all coming down to these last 30 seconds. I think it's going to be hard for Yonushonis to hold him down. We might see sudden death here. I see Matt Valenti on the sidelines giving Herrington tips, talking about cutting out. He's telling him to change levels and cut out. I actually grabbed Valenti's ear briefly after his match, and he is okay. I was asking him about his noggin because he got his bell rung by that awesome leg sweep that Coleman Scott did, and he said he was all there. He said if he needed to open up in the third period, he had it there, but he said I was winning solid, and I felt okay. I just did what I needed to do.
36 seconds, 5-3 Yonushonis of Penn State over Herrington of Penn. The Penn wrestler does have a point locked up, a bonus point for riding time, but still needs something else to get the win or at least force overtime.
Herrington's breaking. He did 5 to 10 seconds of motion, and now Yonushonis has got the wrist. Herrington let up. You can't stop moving on bottom. I'm always telling young athletes that to put the moves together. The Penn coaching staff is not going to be happy about this, and Penn State is going to be pleased because Yonushonis rode him out the last 30 seconds here for the victory. Big win for James Yonushonis for Penn State.
A character-building win for the senior from Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania. The Nittany Lion captain gets it done at 174. James Yonushonis with a comeback victory, 5-4 over Matt Herrington of Penn.
That was an awesome comeback. Good double leg, good ride. 2 takedowns. He lost the first takedown, but got the next 2 for the comeback.
174 in the books. Now we're headed for 184 in a number 1 versus 2 matchup with Jake Herbert and Roger Kish of Minnesota.
In all the world, there are a select few who at their very core are capable of incredible transformation. Under the most grueling conditions, they are shaped, hardened, sharpened, ready to stand among the most elite of all warriors, the few, the proud, the Marines.
If you eat, breathe, and live college football, you need CSTV. From opening day to the national championship, CSTV and CSTV.com are the source for games, highlights, and insights, on air and online. It's the highest degree of college football intensity, and you'll only find it here. Football is a way of life. Live it with CSTV.
CSTV, the 24-hour on-air and online college sports network from CBS Sports.
CSTV is the home of the Navy midshipman.
Boy, he is smooth from the outside.
A winning tradition.
Bullseye!
Passionate fans. Unforgettable moments.
The kick is up and it is goal!
The midshipmen play on CSTV. Your ultimate destination for everything Navy.
Back here at the Dallas Convention Center, the NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps. Here on CSTV, Jason Knapp along with Ken Chertow, and 184 pounds now. Jake Herbert, the #1 ranked wrestler of the preseason, junior from Northwestern, against fellow junior Roger Kish of Minnesota. These two guys, boy, have done big things. Jake Herbert, wonderful run all the way to the NCAA final last year before finally getting done in to Ben Askren at 174. He's up a weight class to 184, so Herbert a runner-up last year. So was Roger Kish, who was second at this weight class.
This is an interesting matchup here. You know, Herbert usually shoots in there real quick. Let's see if he's going to get a shot going here, because he didn't shoot the first 30 seconds, which surprised me, actually. I was wondering if he'd be able to blow through these 84-pounders. Yeah, that wasn't a very good shot. He was extended.
Again, when you go up in weight class, is there a big key that you need to focus on as you make that move? It sounds easy, is it?
It's not easy. Each situation is a little different. Depends on the guy's style of wrestling. For Herbert, as aggressive and straight on he is, it's definitely going to be a transition. Because he's got to be able to finish those takedowns. Usually at 74, if he got to the legs, he'd finish. It'll be interesting to see if he could if he gets a hold of Kish's leg, is he able to finish easy like he does typically last year. Typically last year he finished on most people except Askren. See, this he used to be able to pull this in. Let's see if he can. He's not getting very deep at all. Those are two very weak shots. I'm not impressed so far. Usually Herbert's a little quicker on his feet. I don't know that it has anything to do with the weight. It didn't get very good shots in. You kind of see how he gets extended, doesn't really get deep penetration. Look how he's a little bit far away, just lunges in there. Never came close. To Kish's credit, he's got good position, good hips.
Kish 37-5 last year, junior from Lapeer, Michigan. The Big Ten champ, he Pete Friedel of Illinois, clinched the team title for the Gophers, as you saw last year here on CSTV. And again, got all the way to the NCAA final in this weight class, lost to Oregon Shane Webster in the final 3-2.
And again, this match is brought to you by Team Monday.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Kish has not really done much offensive so far. He's closing the gap. He's hand fighting. He needs to get a hold of Herbert. He's yet to do that. Herbert's been elusive. That's Herbert's third shot. There's his fourth shot. He's too extended again, though. Right here, Kish has got to work hard to get his elbow out and score.
Kish trying to continue to work. And now stalemate finally called. Two Big Ten wrestlers, each Big Ten champs last year, but they didn't wrestle each other. They are now, and you get the sense they will see a lot of each other this season.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of close ones, because neither one of them is showing much offense against each other. Herbert's trying, but hasn't really come close, and Kish hasn't done much anything. There's the shot that he used to use so well at last year. He's going to get it this time. That's a takedown.
Scrambling around, gets two, looking for back points, and picks up three. So Jake Herbert, in a flash, suddenly zooms out to a big-time advantage here at the end of the period. 5-0 in favor of the Northwestern wrestler.
Wow, that was great. See how deep he got that time? Wow, that's what he's looking to do. And then Funk did not work that time for Kish. Kish tried to funk him, and you wrestle risky, and you run the risk of that, and that's what happened. He gave him back points off his own scramble move.
And Kish, unfortunate, the way he got twisted, Herbert's knee ended up right on his neck, and that was a big reason he was able to keep him down. So 5-0 in favor of Jake Herbert, junior out of Wexford, Pennsylvania. 36 straight wins for him last year. unbeaten all the way to the NCAA final. It's actually a 42-match winning streak dating back to the previous year. And again, it got snapped in the loss in that NCAA championship. Another point on the escape for Herbert. A lead out to 6-0.
Well, we found Kish does have some offense now. Let's see if he converts. Herbert was in this position and finished. He split the middle, he finished and actually got back points. Will Kish be able to finish? And it doesn't look like he's gonna, because Herbert is really pinching his knees together tight. He's locking the hips in tight. So this is the difference. You finish your shots. Jake Herbert was able to not only finish but get back points. Kish is struggling here. His head's trapped. It's not over yet. I mean, he may slip his head out and finish. He needs to get to the side, but Herbert's really looking tight in there. Herbert's looking pretty comfortable. Oh my, I don't see a change of position there. See, I disagree, because Herbert's back's not in danger or anything yet. His head's trapped. Herbert should have flipped him over sooner.
Well, Jerry Middleton clear on the call. Roger Kish, give him 2.
Yeah, his head's trapped in there. See, Herbert could take him to his side. That was surprising. I would say that he'd have to tilt his back a little bit closer to the mat to get the control. And there wasn't a whole lot of change in position. If he was going to give 2 then, why not give 2 5 or 10 seconds ago? But history now, to the ref's opinion, it was a close call either way. Not a bad call, just a close call.
Another escape picked up by Herbert as they get back to neutral. Kish forced to cut him loose as he tries to play the takedown game to get back in it.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for Kish to make up these points because he gave up the back points. They were critical.
Heavy, 5.
Final 5 seconds here of the middle period. And it stays the same, 7-2. Herbert of Northwestern leading Kish of Minnesota.
Kish is going to go on his feet. He's picking neutral. Doesn't want to go under Herbert. He can try to get a takedown and get down to business. Kish is solid, but not spectacular. He's just kind of really hard to score in good position. Herbert's just a little more agile. And Herbert truly does look like a 184-pounder. He definitely is not getting horsed. Oh, look at that. Nice little angle on his shot.
The quickness there paying off as Herbert slithers in and finishes off the move. 2 more on that takedown, and now a 9-2 bulge over Roger Kish.
Jake Herbert reminds me a little bit of Tommy Rowlands in the sense that they were lightweights. They were lighter when they were younger. Jake Herbert's growth, he didn't start growing until into high school, towards the upperclassmen. He kept getting bigger and bigger, and he's still continuing to grow, obviously. Whereby Kish, even when he was in junior, senior high, he was a middle and upper weight, and he's kind of been the same physique or similar throughout his career. And it shows Herbert wrestles more like a lightweight. He's very quick and agile, and he's not scared to dive in on shots, as you saw in the first period. Although unsuccessful, he finally got in on that one deep shot that resulted in big back points for him.
Well, Kish here of Minnesota in dire straits against Herbert of Northwestern. Final 50 seconds. Of course, Minnesota, the team rankings, preseason #1 over Oklahoma State. Could this be the year the Golden Gophers end that run of titles for the Cowboys?
Well, it's the era of parity, and we're not going to know till the end. It's going to be some great wrestling all year. The national duels is going to be really exciting. Covering that last year with you at the you and I at the Unidome, that place was packed. And as you remember, King Cole Conrad pinned Steve the Bear Mocco from Oklahoma State in the final. So for Oklahoma State lost that dual meet to Minnesota. That was exciting action. I think all year it's going to be a toss-up back and forth.
We saw Dustin Schlatter of Minnesota winning earlier here. Kish looking like he's going to fall to Herbert of Northwestern. We expected to see Cole Conrad had to pull out with a minor injury. They expected him to be back going. And maybe more importantly for Minnesota, Mac Ryder tore an ACL earlier in the preseason, has had surgery. Jay Robinson expects to have him back hopefully by the first of the year. And Ryder, obviously a guy they're counting on for their national title hopes.
Yeah, that's going to be tough stuff, Jason. You just never know with serious knee injuries like that. So they're hoping to get him back, and they're hoping he's going to be effective. But boy, there's so many good lightweights. It's going to be a challenge for him to be at his best at the end. So Minnesota's got their work cut out for him. I think Conrad's injury is very minor, and he'll be good to go. But definitely Minnesota's got some work to do. But Oklahoma State's no shoe-in. I mean, both their guys moved up in weight, and both of them got beat here today. So
And look out for Northwestern as well. Jake Herbert with a win tonight, following in the footsteps of his Wildcat teammate Ryan Lang. So the Cats' claws out here in Dallas, and they expect to be a factor in the Big Ten race as well here in this new wrestling season. More from Dallas in this All-Star Classic for the NWCA. It continues in a moment here on CSTV. Jake Herbert with a fantastic performance at 184.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
It may seem intimidating, but really, it's one of the easiest things you can ever do.
I've been practicing.
Good. You're gonna need it.
Help America's youth. Be a friend. Be a mentor. Just be there.
Go to bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
CSTVFanstore.com is the ultimate store for the college sports fan. With over 30,000 items from virtually every school, Fanstore is the perfect place for holiday shopping. Go to fanstore.com today and get free shipping on all orders over $50. Just enter the code MyCSTV to receive this limited time offer. CSTVFanstore.com, the ultimate store for college sports fans.
Well, back here in Dallas, supposed to have 10 bouts tonight, but at 197, Phil Davis of Penn State didn't make weight. So his bout with Jerry Rinaldi of Cornell won't happen, but we do have the heavyweights here. Spencer Nadolsky, redshirt senior from North Carolina, 4th in the nation, taking on number 2, Bode Ogunwole of Harvard.
We'll just go with Bode here. He's kind of like Tervel. We'll go with a one-name logo here. Bode is looking packed. He's an athletic heavyweight. He moves good. He snaps the head a lot. He's got a nice duck under. He's up against a little taller opponent than Spencer Nadolsky, but I'll tell you what, he's coming ready to go. Bode is taking the tempo so far. He is snapping and moving. Very athletic light heavyweight.
The senior from Harvard, 6th at the NCAA tournament last year, first team All-Ivy, 17th All-American in Harvard history, 10th in the last 8 years, and talked to him before the match about, Penn and Cornell have kind of been the top dogs of the Ivies, and can Harvard make that push? And he says, yeah, we've got the dedication from the wrestlers. Certainly think that maybe we can make some noise.
That's the right attitude, definitely. It's certainly a challenge at Harvard to get, it's such a strict admission standard. The admission standards for wrestlers at Penn and Cornell is perhaps not quite as stringent. Harvard's awfully selective. You have to get a lot of really brilliant guys with great wrestling skills to go to Harvard to get the whole team. But as an individual, as Jesse Jansen proved, it's an individual sport. You can succeed and excel. But to have a whole team, it would be really super challenging.
And you're talking about what we were talking about earlier with the dual meet statistic, but certainly Jesse Jansen has proved that program can create NCAA champions. And North Carolina program in the ACC that would like to be able to take those steps. Spencer Nadolsky, 42-7 last year, ACC runner-up, got an NCAA wild card, went 3-2, 1 win short of All-America status.
Yep, he's looking to have a breakout year this season. UNCC, they've got a full allotment of scholarships down there. They should have a better program. They kind of sit in the middle of the pack. I don't know, the ACC hasn't really broken out. They got to keep recruiting, get up recruiting north, and the Southern wrestling keeps improving tremendously. They could pick up some local boys down there. North Carolina wrestling is truly on the move. The state in general, although UNC doesn't necessarily go after the in-state recruits that much, unfortunately. So time will tell.
And we've seen parity in other sports. Do you see that coming more and more in wrestling?
Definitely. In wrestling, there's more and more kids getting better. Youth wrestling is exploding across our country, and there's more good quality kids. So they're spreading out across the different schools. And yes, there's a lot of parity. The southern schools are getting better. The states of North Carolina, Georgia, Florida are all improving. So a lot of those kids are staying down in southeast schools. So yes, the answer is simply there is more and more parity every single year. That's both from a team standpoint and from an individual standpoint. There's individuals from more and more schools, breaking out and making names for themselves. Like I mentioned, Jansen, like earlier we talked about Stanford. You can go to any school and become an individual champion as long as you're willing to make that commitment.
These two guys battling hard here from Harvard and from North Carolina. Yep. Of course, Cole Conrad, as we mentioned before, just a minor injury. Minnesota going to err on the side of caution and hold him out of this one. Of course, Conrad, in his battles the last couple of years with Oklahoma State's Steve Mocco, reaching legendary status. Mocco has moved on, but Conrad, the clear-cut favorite in the heavyweight division this year.
Yeah, he's the king is the favorite to be the king at the end. King Cole Conrad is definitely the biggest, strongest heavyweight out there, and he's the favorite to win. Hey, as we look forward to the rest of the season, we're going to have the great bout. Lehigh is visiting Penn State. It's going to be on CSTV in a couple weeks. And then, Jason, we're going to get to go out to two of the wrestling meccas of our country, Iowa and Minnesota, to cover an Iowa dual meet and a Minnesota dual meet later in the season. Some of the highlights. So we're going to be in some of these three traditional gyms. Penn State, Minnesota, Iowa, great traditions in our sport. The Big Ten championships, each year we've been covering that. Those are, talk about parity. You just never know who's going to come out of that Big Ten championship, individuals or teams. So there's going to be some great wrestling on CSTV all season. That's just a teaser. There's going to be more than that, but those are some of the highlights of the upcoming season.
Ogunwole trying to dive in there. Does have the 1-0 lead off his escape in this period. Final minute of this second period at 285 pounds. The heavyweights, Harvard and North Carolina, represented.
Yeah, the big boys just don't do as much as the lightweights. There was some really good excitement early on. I love seeing Matt Valenti bust out early with a big lift and an ankle pick. He secured 2 takedowns against Coleman Scott to seal the deal in that victory. Dustin Schlatter hit that sweet duck under. You see some nice explosions in the last match. Jake Herbert in that big scramble, single leg, ended up with back points. Those are some of the scrambles that stood out in my head as this dual meet wore on. Those are some kids really breaking out their best stuff when it counts. I was excited to see those guys perform up on center stage here in the All-Star meet and do so well. The big guys are pushing and shoving. We might see a takedown here. I don't know.
We talked about the program at Harvard and trying to make those steps. Jay Weiss has certainly got things pointed in the right direction. He's got help, assistant coach. We mentioned Jesse Jansen back helping out. Jamil Kelly as well working in that room. That's nice to have those kind of guys hanging around your room.
Yeah, he definitely has the right idea. He's surrounded himself with good coaches who have been NCAA champion and, in Jamil Kelly's case, Olympic medalist. Now, can they recruit? Can they look across this country and find the premier athletes that have the grades to get into Harvard? That's the unique challenge. It takes a lot of work, and you got to be willing to make a big commitment to the recruiting to get that done.
Bode, majoring in biochemistry, wants to be a doctor or something in the medical field, maybe sports medicine. Right now he's in a match that's now tied up at 1 apiece. The escape for Nadolsky and the big guys looking like we may be headed towards overtime. Riding time does not look to be a factor. It seems these guys will settle it on their feet.
Yeah, we'll see here. A minute to go. See if anybody's willing to take a risk and really go after it. But you mentioned Bode being a bright guy. Like I said earlier, a lot of these wrestlers are really serious students. I mentioned Schlatter earlier, this very serious student. A lot of these guys, right up and down the lineup, these are bright guys. It's neat to see so many successful wrestlers continuing their career at Ivy League schools. Valenti is going to go on to a career in business next year. He's going to wrap up his competitive career most likely and move on. These guys, they're using wrestling to train for their future. It's not like in the pro sports where there's a pro career waiting for you. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. These guys are doing this because they love the competition. and it truly does prepare them to succeed and excel in our society once they're done with their wrestling careers.
30 seconds left to go in the third period. Haven't had an overtime bout yet. We may very well be headed there right now at heavyweight.
You can always count on the big boys for a good chance of going to overtime. It's just not as deep. You know, I think about the kids I work with through my camp and stuff. There's mostly light and middleweights that dedicate themselves and make a commitment to learning the game and excelling. You don't see as many big guys. When you do, a big guy can really excel. That was nice, and he doesn't. No, 1 foot in. Nothing. Nope.
Out of bounds.
You see how he almost kept 1 foot in? That was really, really nice power double. Should have done it sooner. What's he been holding back for? Look how he changes levels and explodes. One fake, he's going to do it again. Driving, and he keeps his feet in, but Nadolsky scrambled on the edge. Did a good job.
The rule change from a few years ago. Just need to have 1 point of reference still inside. You saw him, the feet slipped out of bounds as they worked to the edge of the mat.
Yep. Let's see if he's got the courage to change levels again and try to tackle Nadolsky.
Well, here we are in overtime. First minute is sudden victory. First wrestler to score a point, and it's over.
Yeah, the takedown he's using is the most basic takedown in wrestling, just a straight double. You'll teach that in elementary school and junior high. I mean, you do it throughout your career, but it's pretty straightforward. So the big guys don't get too complicated. As I said, football tackle, that's takedown, match is over.
And he gets it done. Bode with a biggie at the end. Ogunwole of Harvard with a takedown in overtime to post the win for the Crimson.
The basic double leg, wins when it counts.
So Bode victorious here at 285, the OT win over Nadolsky. Hey, you wondered where that double was earlier. He was just waiting around to do it in dramatic fashion.
Indeed he did. Exciting too, the crowd liked it.
A very nice capper here for the end of these bouts of this All-Star Classic. We'll be back with some final thoughts from Dallas here, NCAA Wrestling on CSTV.
In all the world, there are a select few who at their very core are capable of incredible transformation. Under the most grueling conditions, they are shaped, hardened, sharpened, ready to stand among the most elite of all warriors, the few, the proud, the Marines.
If you don't have CSTV, you don't get basketball. With more on-air and online tournament coverage than anywhere else. Hoops happen on CSTV.
That's right, men, you've earned it. This should be the best time of your life, and it can be with Vasamine. Male virility and performance is all about maintaining healthy blood flow. Vasamine brings new meaning to the phrase feeling the flow for men every day. Vasamine is a once-daily tablet with clinically tested ingredients that help improve virility, stamina, and performance. It's easy to use and non-prescription. Call today and get your risk-free 60-day trial of Vasamine, and we'll give you an additional 30-day supply absolutely free. Call in the next 15 minutes and receive a free month supply of Maxiderm, the #1 topical male performance formula on the market, as well as other free gifts.
We weren't ready for the doctor or prescription. That's why we decided to give Vasamine a try. His driver's license says he's 41, but I think he's 18 again.
Call today and get your risk-free 60-day trial of Vasamine, and we'll give you an additional 30-day supply absolutely free. You've earned it. Feel the flow with Vasamine.
NCAA Wrestling on CSTV, the 2006 NWCA All-Star Classic, has been presented by the United States Marine Corps, the United States Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. Here at the Dallas Convention Center, starting to pack up for the night. And the folks here in Texas got a pretty good showing in the Lone Star State by some of the top collegiate wrestlers in the nation. Jason Knapp and Ken Cherto here in Ken. Boy, saw a lot of action, especially at 165. Two-time defending NCAA champ Johnny Hendricks of Oklahoma State sticking it to Mark Perry of Iowa yet again.
Yes, sir. He won it at all positions. Good reversals. Here's a nice takedown. He did a great job on top. He really dominated, showed why he is the two-time defending NCAA champion.
A 3-1 victory for Hendricks. Then at 174, Penn and Penn State featured, and a rallying Nittany Lion, James Yonushonis.
Short time left in the match right here. He's losing by 1. He drives through double, keeps his feet in, and gets the winning takedown. Big win for Penn State.
A 5-4 victory, Yonushonis over Matt Herrington of the Quakers. And then at 184, another 1 versus 2 showdown. And boy, Jake Herbert of Northwestern all over Minnesota's Roger Kish.
I told you we'd see some scrambles tonight, and that was one of the highlights of the night. A scramble off of a single leg, ends up with a takedown and back points, makes a big move to 184.
10-4 victory for the Wildcat wrestler over the Golden Gopher. Well, first event of the season here on CSTV. Again, these matches don't count as far as seedings or standings or on the wrestler's record, but certainly a tone set for a lot of these guys for what we'll see throughout the rest of the campaign.
Oh, rest assured, they take pride in their performance out here at the NWCA Classic All-Star Meet. These guys, they come and they mean business. Northwestern stepped it up today. Look at Lang and Herbert. Both wrestled really well. Lang winning at the end. Herbert dominating for the most part. Big win for Northwestern. They're the only team with two winners.
And Northwestern featured in the top 10 of the preseason rankings by the NWCA. Certainly we'll see a lot of these teams in the mix and on the CSTV schedule this year. We mentioned before, Oklahoma State, the multiple NCAA titles. Minnesota, though, getting the nod in the preseason. Can this be the year that they knock them off?
Oh, I tell you, it's going to be parity all season long. You look at that lineup of teams, any of those teams could, bop back and forth in the top 10. It's going to see which teams improve the most during the season and peak at the end. That's going to be the key to getting it done at the NCAA championships.
Looking forward to the national duels coming up in Iowa later this year. Next NCAA wrestling event here on CST. Hope you enjoyed it from Dallas. We sure did. For Ken Cherto, I'm Jason Knapp. That'll do it from the Convention Center here in Big D. For the latest scores, news, highlights, and analysis, log on to CSTV.com. This has been a presentation of CSTV, the 24-hour college sports network from CBS Sports. So long from Dallas, Texas. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Will kick off. DeCorey Birmingham is one of 2 men deep. He's joined by Cedric Cobbs. This will be Birmingham at the 5. Spilled at the 21-yard line. Let's check in with the 3rd member of our commentary team. Here's Jill Herrington.
Well, Vern, the University of Georgia motto all season has been finish the drill. Well, today is their last drill to complete, and I asked Coach Rick how he's kept the team from getting distracted from all the championship hype. He said they've been too busy, business as usual, focused on preparing for this tough Arkansas team to get caught up in the emotions of a 20-year absence of a Georgia title. But let me tell you, Vern, these fans have not forgotten. You can feel the intensity in the dome. They know what it's all about.
I can imagine, Jill. Thank you. Matt Jones at quarterback. Mark Pierce and Fred Talley are the backs.
Very important for Matt Jones to get off to a good start in this ball game.
Play fake, bootleg, comes right. He's got great speed, and he's also elusive. This time tackled by DeCorey Bryant, number 22, at the 25-yard line.
Well, Matt Jones, we talked a little bit about him. He's 6'6". He runs a 4.4. That's not good speed. That's great speed. He can throw the football, although his mechanics throwing are not. You're not going to make a video of how to throw a football watching Matt Jones. but he makes plays. Ever since he started playing as a true freshman, he makes a lot of big plays when he scrambles around and creates.
And, of course, through the 2 passes that got Arkansas to this spot in the win over LSU a week ago yesterday. On 2nd and 6, I believe that was Jonathan Sullivan bumping shoulder pads with Mark Bokerman.
And that was a new formation that Arkansas was showing.